guys, welcome back to Being Mrs. Fraser. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I truly appreciate each and every one of you for always showing up and being here with me. As you can tell, we made some major changes in the house and I cannot wait to share that with you guys. I am in the process of loving my home and just kind of stepping away from the bright lights, airy colors, and just, you know, making our home cozy, inviting, just warm. Yeah, so I am so excited though for this makeover. I had so much fun, even though there was a few trip ups, if you will. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and jump right into this video.
Secret smile, I will tell you when you get older.
We're gonna go ahead and start by getting everything taken down. Now, I do remove all the decor and books and everything off my shelves, but I actually had my husband take the shelves down for me. Those shelves are so stinking heavy, like I can't even tell you. So anyway, we're gonna move on to the fireplace mantle. A couple of years ago, I think it was a couple Christmas ago, not last Christmas, but maybe the Christmas before, I decided that I just had to have a fireplace, and so I built this and then just got like an insert off of Amazon, and I never stained this top mantelpiece. I don't know why, but I never did. And so today I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and sand it down, starting with an 80 grit, working my way up to a 320 grit. You want to do that. The 80 grit is more for like shaping and just getting some like notches out, and anything like that. And then working your way down to a finer grit sandpaper to kind of get it real nice and smooth and soft surface. So after I'm done sanding, I do move on to staining. I'm going to use the same stain that I use for everything else in the living room, all our other projects, if you guys haven't seen those, including the shelves, the bookshelves, and the coffee table. And then also I have a piece of wood over my IKEA cabinets that I've also stained using the driftwood, the Minwax, oil stain in driftwood and early American. I love mixing the stain. The driftwood is a very green, neutral, cool tone. And then the early American is very rich, warm, red tone. And so I love the early American, but I don't want all that like warmth. So I use the driftwood as a mix to kind of neutralize that. If you guys know your color wheel, you know that like orange and blue, yellow and violet, and then red and green are like they're complementary colors like that. So using those complementary colors, so in my case using a red and a green, help neutralize the color but help neutralize the tone but keep the same kind of color. And so I think it looks really beautiful together. I really love it, but I wanted to go ahead and get this out on here. I also do not use a stain prep. I just don't feel like I need to. I feel like if I was using a water-based stain, I think that the stain prep is more useful for it, but to each their own. So if you want to use a stain prep, go ahead and do so. But again, I'm using the oil stain. I feel like oil stain is so forgiving and so easy to use. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go ahead and get this on all of the sides. I did not take... I was being lazy about it, but you know what? It worked out, not taking the hinges off, and so yeah, I just worked around them. But we're gonna go ahead and get this board stained up, and that way it gets nice and dry. We are working our way into the rainy season here in Florida, so I wanted to make sure that I got this done before the rain came that day. And then that way too, the sun was like super hot that morning, including the humidity. It just was like, whoa, it was so hot, you guys, but it's okay. I moved here for a reason. I love the heat and I'm good with that, but I wanted to make sure that I got this all done before the rain came, so that way that it could get nice and dry before I put the poly coat on it. I do like to use a matte poly. I don't like the shine or gloss or anything like that, and so I don't think I shared that with you guys, so I do apologize for that, but we're gonna get this finished up and then we're gonna move back inside.
Am I ever gonna get there? Am I ever gonna get there? Am I ever gonna get there? I guess we'll see. 'Cause I'm trying to find my pace. And
So if you have seen our kitchen makeover not too long ago, I am using the same color in the living room that I did in the kitchen. Our kitchen is closed off. This is an older home, so each space is kind of, it is not open concept. That's what I'm trying to get at. But I do like having the flow of color to match between the kitchen, the dining space, and the living room. And so that's why I wanted to use the same color. I also am wanting to keep this as budget friendly as possible, and so I am just using the same can, like I said. So it is Sherwin-Williams Dried Thyme. Now you'll notice that can is not Sherwin-Williams. That's because I like to pick whatever color I like, and then I'll have Lowe's mix it into Valspar. I love Valspar. It is very high quality. I use the signature line in Valspar. But it's very high quality, durable, easy to clean, all the things, and it's a little bit more affordable than the Sherwin-Williams. So, to each their own on that, but that's what I like to use. I've been using it for years and years. Basically our very first house I painted with Valspar. I used it in our last house multiple times, multiple spaces, and then that's what I've used in this house as well. And so I just continue using it. I love it. It works well. Again, the color doesn't fade. I have kids and cats, and walls get dirty, and so it's super easy to clean. Usually I get like a semi-gloss. However, I did end up going with satin. I think I got satin this time around. Or did I get eggshell? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's satin. I wanted like a little bit of a sheen, but not a lot. So, and then also staying with that satin or semi-gloss, it makes it really easy to clean. In spaces like this, like heavy traffic areas, especially like the kitchen where you're cooking and get splatters and stuff, you're gonna want to use something with a little bit more of a sheen to help when it comes to cleaning. It just makes it easier. But anyway, we're gonna get this room edged up, and then we will move on to getting it painted. You guys, coming up, I had a little bit of a spill, if you will.
have my heart today, all my hopes and dreams, it's all yours to take. So I'll leave it at the altar, God. I'll leave it at the altar, God. I'll leave it at the altar, God.
guys will have to let me know if when you paint, if you use tape. I do not. As you can see, I feel like it's a waste of time and money. I usually have more mishaps when I tape than when I just use a really nice angled brush and go in and cut in the edges. I don't know why, but I do. I have never had good luck with tape. I know there's some tips and tricks you can use by taking the tape and then painting the base color, and then going back and then painting your new color. But again, we're trying to save time and money here. And so using that old base color and then also using tape, I mean, it's just extra money out of my pocket that I can get a really nice brush for, I think, $7 or $8, that I usually wash and keep around, reuse multiple times, and just cut in really carefully around all the edges. So that's what I'm doing. Again, you'll have to let me know if you guys use tape or not when you are doing your paint projects. My paintbrush is also a Valspar paintbrush. This one is not my favorite. I actually prefer like the little shorty handled ones. And this one is actually a long handled one, but it got the job done and it did what I needed it to do. So we're cutting in these edges and getting it all done.
The star.
And of course, like I said, I did have a little bit of a spill. I'm rolling everything on and I needed a refill. So I went to refill and your girl came back and I got tripped up. I was so bummed that the camera was not turned so I could have caught it. I don't know. Y'all know that I am kind of silly, that I am not against joking on myself. And so I was so bummed I didn't catch it. But you guys, I can't believe I did this. I was so scared though. I did walk away with a few bruises, but I am okay. Yeah, and then down I go. Two of my kids were home and they came out and they were like, "What is going on with you? Like, what just happened?" And then my third daughter, my youngest daughter walked in just because she got dropped off at the bus and just walked in the front door and was like, "Why are you on the floor? Like, what is going on? What did I just walk into?" It was such a mess, but thankfully there actually really wasn't a mess. I was the mess. But somehow your girl was able to hold on to that paint pan after just filling it up. I did not spill one drop. I was also so concerned because I fell into the fireplace on top of all the shelves that are sitting there. And I was so scared that I was going to break my fireplace, and you guys, I didn't do it. I fell all the way once, but the second time, as you guys saw, that is what I tripped on. I tripped on the shelf and I almost fell again, but I caught myself that time. So your girl is so clumsy. I swear every time I am painting, I am falling. It's just such a bad habit. But anyway, we got the shelves back up. We got the painting done. I got the shelves back up. That was a whole situation. I should have filmed it for you guys, but I didn't, and I regret it because it was literally me putting them up and my son handing me the screws and everything for it, and oh my gosh, it was such a mess. This whole situation was such a project.
When all my plans start to come undone and there's no one there to see me through, when all my strength has been overcome and there's nothing left for me to do but tell the truth, I'm calling out for you.
So we are moving on to the next wall. As you can see, everything is painted and I started putting everything back up. But this wall is where the wallpaper is going. So I did want to go ahead and prep the wall. You're going to want to make sure, obviously, you're removing everything that is hung up on the wall. That you can. And then I also went through and just wiped everything down. That way there was no dust or dirt or grime or debris or anything like that on the wall. Anything that would prevent the wallpaper from sticking, because I am using a peel and stick wallpaper. It is absolutely beautiful wallpaper. I will make sure that I leave it linked down in the description for you guys. I do want to thank Lowe's for sending me the gift card to be able to purchase this wallpaper. So I did not pay for the wallpaper, but I would obviously always give you guys an honest review. And I'm gonna be real honest with this wallpaper. It is beautiful. It is great quality, but it is so hard to hang it by yourself. So if you're going to hang this, definitely make sure you have a partner that can help you, because your girl is struggling. I was struggling getting it on straight. Just to begin with, I think this first piece probably took me about a good 30 minutes to get on the wall. I think I would have been easier had I not only had a partner to help, but also having our laser level. If I would have had the laser level, I think it would have went on very much smoother, much easier situation. I also want to add that our wall is slightly textured. Now, I was really concerned about that as well. You know, is it gonna stick to the texture because there's so many bumps, and that because it's not like a fine texture, it's like kind of it's really hard to explain. There will be a picture later that you can kind of see the texture like in the green wall to get an idea, but it is textured. It did go on okay. As you can see, I removed it multiple times, so it is definitely very forgiving. But it really, even though I think it took me like 5 hours just to do this wall, you guys. And that's not including the time that I had to stop to go get my kids from school and all their activities, but it literally took me forever. And I was so over it. I was like, oh my gosh, why does it keep going up crooked and all the things? I got out the level. I was such a mess, and I watched so many videos doing this before and trying to just make sure that I got it right. I will say that I did see other videos, like they would cut the piece down to size that you wanted to measure. But I found it easier to get it like started on the wall and then going back and then cutting it off. That was just what was easier for me. And then that way too, I didn't pre-cut panels and then they didn't line up, and then I have a whole nother problem on my hands. So once I got this panel up, things went a little bit smoother. It was kind of hard to get it straight, and then I will say that the pattern lined up pretty well. But as busy as this pattern is, the slight variance that I didn't get perfectly lined up, you can't even tell. I mean, even standing right up next to it, it's really hard to see where the exact pieces lined up or didn't line up. But yeah, so you see, I'm still struggling with this wall. It was such a mess, this first piece, but I did eventually get it. So my biggest tips, your tips from Tammy on this video, my biggest tip is just making sure that you have a partner that can help you. Again, I really feel like that would have made my life so much easier with this if I would have waited for help. But your girl doesn't like to wait. I just don't. I don't always have the time or the patience to wait. So anyway, I'm also using like a little scraper tool that I got at Lowe's. It came with like a a blade, like a sharp blade. That way you could use that to cut the excess wallpaper off. So I did overlap on the ceiling probably about an inch or two, and then on the bottom it kind of got maybe about 3 inches or so, a little bit long, but that way it was easier. I didn't want to cut it too short and not have enough to stretch out to the bottom. So I just use that scraper. I use my hands mostly to kind of rub everything in, especially because, like I said, we have textured walls. So I wanted to make sure it was getting all into the grooves and all that. And then I went back through with the scraper just to make sure. And then I used that scraper as like a straight edge to kind of cut along all my guided pieces that I was cutting off.
Bulletproof, yeah. You made me stronger. You had a faith that I'll never know. Faith that'll never. You prayed away rainy days, even kept a smile if they stayed. Cause either way, you stood on the rock and not on the sand. No. It's sweet memories of all the little things you did to show me love, and you held me stand. Yeah.
Again, cutting around all the little edges and everything was probably the hardest part of this whole project, next to getting the initial stretch straight. Otherwise, this was actually pretty simple. Now, I'm gonna say that when I first finished, I was like, I never want to wallpaper anything ever again. And now I'm like, I still want to wallpaper in my bedroom. We'll see when that day comes if I do decide to go that route. But anyway, I don't know. To each their own on this wallpaper thing. I was such a hot mess with it. But I will say again that I do absolutely love it. It wipes down very easily. And then it stuck up really easily. I was a little concerned on this part outside of like the bathroom from the humidity in the bathroom, but so far so good. The reviews on this wallpaper were kind of hit or miss. They were mostly good, but some of them did have problems with it sticking and staying stuck to the wall, and I kind of wonder if that's not user error. Just making sure that you saw me, peel and stick that multiple times. And I kind of wonder if people maybe aren't prepping their surface beforehand properly. Maybe, I don't know if they're have too many oils on their hands. I did notice that oh my gosh, I stupidly put lotion on when I went and got my son, and then I came back and I was like, okay, this paper is absorbing all these oils off of my hand from my lotion. So I did have to waste a little bit of it, but it wasn't enough. I mean, it ended up working out, but I kind of wonder if it's not something to that effect. If people don't have too much oil on their hands, or if there's just there's just dust. Like I said, they didn't properly prep to get all that dust off of their walls or something to that effect. Because like I said, so far so good. This was the only spot that I was really concerned about, being right outside the bathroom, with the potential of getting the humidity from the kids taking showers and that making it come off the wall. So I don't know that I would actually use this wallpaper in a bathroom. I would use it in a kitchen, as long as it's not right next to the stove where you're boiling water or something like that for the humidity. I mean, maybe it would be okay. I don't know, because I didn't experience that. But anyway, like I said, I love this wallpaper. I think it is great quality. And I do think it absolutely turned out beautiful. One of my kids, I had to laugh. I'm like, well, I appreciate your honesty, but one of them was like, it looks like we're in a doctor's office now. And I get it. I can see it too, but I had to laugh at that, you guys, and share it with you, but it was so funny. So, and you'll also see or notice here in a little bit, once we get everything finished up, I actually loved this wall so much that I didn't end up hanging my shelves back up. And so I went back and forth on that. I was going to hang them back up, so I did not like putty the holes or anything, and that's kind of part of the prep of wallpaper. If you have holes in the wall, you're gonna want to make sure that you go through and fill those holes beforehand, making sure that it fully dries before you put up your wallpaper. But like I said, I was going to put the shelves back up and I didn't, so I didn't fill the holes. And so now the holes are there open under the wallpaper, so I'm kind of concerned about how that's going to hold up as well. But again, we'll see what happens. So far, so good. There's been no issues. And I actually love the space without the shelves. I feel like it might have got too busy if I would have put the shelves back up there. So I didn't. And then another thing that we also decided, the doorbell, you can't see the doorbell right now without the cover on, but I did end up spray painting that black. And then I also had my husband change out the outlets and the light switch to black, and then I put on black switch covers or switch plates as well. I feel like the black just kind of blends a little bit better than the white of everything. I feel like the white really just stood out. I'm torn on what to do with our little, like, the air, what is that called? The little air conditioning thing where you, like, you know, your temperature thing, where you set the temperature in that for your air furnace or whatnot. I'm trying to decide what to do on that. The base of it is obviously original to the house. It's very yellow. And I thought about painting it black, but I really don't know how to go about doing that. And then besides that, the actual control panel is white too. So I don't know. I just left that for the time being, but you'll see here in a minute. I did go ahead and get this last piece up with you guys. I didn't share the struggles of trying to get those really tiny strips next to the TV there. But I do end up showing you guys how, or the colors. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up my words here. I do end up showing you guys the switch plates that I changed those. So you'll have to let me know if you think I should have left them white or if you guys like the black as well. But so far, I am absolutely loving everything about this. I've looked up, I don't know what the official trend or the official name for this style is. Is it cottagecore? Is it like just Moody? Is it Academia? I don't know what the word is. Your girl struggles with words. Y'all know that if you've been here a while. But anyway, I am absolutely loving this room. Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to to compare the before and afters here in just a few minutes.
When we're helping each other, we're growing together. It's so unnecessary worrying about life. I might not have it all, but I know I'll be alright. He's gonna challenge me to be the best I can be, and to give back to those who need it. It won't always be blue skies ahead. Sometimes you might need a helping hand, just like I.
So we got the switch plates covers changed. What do you think? Do you like the black? Ugh, I think the black looks so much better than the white. I really, truly do. But anyway, I wanted to give you guys a reminder of what the room looked like before, and then I will share it with you the after. I know the after is dark, but it really didn't make the space smaller. I do feel like it is definitely cozy. I love it. I love the change up. But anyway, if you guys have made it this far, leave me a little green heart emoji in the comments. And I hope that if you haven't already, that you will hit that red subscribe button. And I hope you all stay happy, healthy, and safe. Until the next time. Bye, guys.